up, get out right out of your bed, that's your quicksand. Getting rid anxiety and head, you can fix it. Rid of stigmas, all of them you said, we ain't listening. Just remember, try to do your best, you can win this. Maurice Benard, State of Mind.
Okay. This is State of Mind. And I'm not going to show you who's on until I say her name.
You don't have that memorized yet?
No. I want to talk first of all, because I know she'll appreciate it. Animals. I want to talk about animals, and I want to talk about how good animals are when you're going through anxiety, depression, anything like that. You always see me with Buddy the goat and my other goats and alpacas, and it's amazing because sometimes I go out there and right away I just start crying because the feeling I have when I see them is amazing, and the sun's in my face and they're just so calm and serene and just and the thing is also with the goats and everything is the history that I've had with them, because I've gone out there when I could not think at all or overthinking. I couldn't, even they couldn't help me. So I have such a huge history with Buddy the goat and the alpacas, and so, but thank God for the last couple of years I've been going out there and all I feel is joy. But animals are that important because they don't have judgment. They just love you, and they're not thinking about what nationality you are, or if you're gay or not gay or anything. It's all about love with animals. And I have a little puppy named Vito, and he just looks like a little monster, but he's the cutest thing ever. And all he wants to do is love. And, anyway, on that note, I have somebody here who's people love her. That's just a fact. And I know that to be true on many levels. I don't need to get into it.
Of course you do.
Well, you've done the show already, so I know how much people love you. She's an actress. She's an author. She's a producer. She's a singer. She's a lover. A trapeze artist. Let's just get into it. Her name is Carolyn Hennesy. How are you?
Hi, honey.
What's going on?
You're so right about animals.
Yeah.
My God, you're right about animals. I think I may have said on the last time I was here that I had 4 dogs. Lost one in August. Yeah. And am on the verge of losing my other little boy, Arbuckle, very soon. Very soon. And it's just a killer, because boy, they know when you're going through something. They know when you're depressed. They know when you're not feeling well physically. And it's my state of mind is a little wonky right now, because I'm about to lose a member of my family.
Yeah.
But
how many years?
I've had him since he was 6 months old, and he is about to turn 16.
Oh my goodness.
And he's small, but even so, that's it's
16.
16. It's a healthy span of years for a dog, but and the only thing I know in my heart is that I gave him the best life possible.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's boy, it's tough.
I've lost a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
Now you've done a lot of work with
animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
I had a podcast called Animal Magnetism. I'm an ambassador for American Humane. I'm an ambassador for the Los Angeles Zoo, which is one of the great jewels in this city.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And can talk about animals till the cows come home. And you're right. They don't have any judgment unless you mistreat them. And then there's a fear, but
yes, I get
but
it.
they will always come back. They will always come back, and they just want to love you, and they want to eat. They want food, and water, and then they want to love you. It's
but it's amazing how you hear but people abusing animals, but they still love.
That's when I because animals are so much better than people. Period.
I agree with that. Yeah,
so much better.
I agree with that.
They are not, with the exception of a cat batting around a mouse. Animals are not cruel the way humans can be.
Yeah,
They don't really. 99.99999% of them don't torture the things that they love. So or that they're going to eat. Anyway, so I have loved animals for 20 years. I mean, seriously, and been into serious animal advocacy, not activism, but advocacy.
You know, I just talked to somebody else about this. Where I got Vito is called road dogs.
Roll dogs?
Road.
Oh, road dogs?
Yeah. And
I can only imagine.
And she's, her claim to fame, I guess, one of her dogs, she got it. They were going to kill it. And it looks like something from Star Wars, like with the big ears. I don't know what that character is.
Well, Yoda.
Yoda. It looks like Baby Yoda. And it's famous. This dog's famous now. And it's got these big ears. And so I got the dog from her. And I guess she talked to Paula because she wants to open up this big sanctuary.
Yeah. Good.
That you can go in there and hang out. And there's tons of dogs, but like acres and acres.
Oh, I see. I'd go down and volunteer.
That's what I'm talking about.
I volunteer at my zoo. In the enrichment garden. There's so many ways to get involved with saving the lives of animals. Do you know that at any given moment, there are more dogs and cats in the United States alone than there are people on the planet? 10 billion dogs and cats. And that's just dogs and cats. I mean, think about it. So it's, spay and neuter, take care of your dogs, adopt, do not shop, don't buy a dog. Because I've got friends who say, well, we really wanted a Bichon Frise, or we really wanted and I say, there are all of these rescues that are specific to the dog that you want.
Yeah.
And you can rescue a dog.
Yeah.
So just do a little research. Or actually go down to the pound and get the mutt who will love you because they know that you're saving their life. So, anyway.
And I will say this. It's interesting you bring that up. Rescued, because unfortunately I've gotten, my Akita was not a rescue.
It's okay.
So
Next time.
I've had those, he was beautiful. Did you ever see it?
No.
Not my Akita. Oh my God. Long coat Akita, black and white. Ooh.
Oh, I'll bet.
Beautiful.
I mean, gorgeous. Yes.
Gorgeous. But one thing I've noticed, because I've had the Akita and whatnot, is Vito, he doesn't really get sick. He doesn't, it's
puppy mill dogs. Puppy mill
right.
dogs are susceptible to, because there's so many of them are inbred.
Right.
That just opens the dog to a whole host of illnesses. But mutt dogs, they're tough and they're spunky and they just.
That's what I'm saying. But I heard that before.
Yeah.
But now that I have Vito,
I
had another.
I want to see a picture of Vito.
Oh, he's the cutest thing ever. Black and white, black face, white face. But I had another bulldog. Listen to this. This is a while back. Maybe 22 years ago. Got him when he was a puppy, not rescue. Problems like
you got
ears.
it. You got him when he was a puppy.
Yeah. Throat. Ammonia one time. He's gonna die.
If I could shut down all the puppy mills,
damn.
I would. I absolutely would. We have enough dogs. People, please adopt. Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit, only because it's extremely interesting that your father won an Oscar. And the alcoholism.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
I want to talk more about, because I think I commend you for how long you haven't
had a drink.
Right.
23 years with, and again, God willing, It will be 24 on August 5th.
Okay. That's because a lot of people I talk to in here, it's been 1 year, it's been that, and it's very difficult and this and this and that. Just today, talking to people, the fact that you've been over 20 years is phenomenal. I want to get into, as you know, we've lost some people recently.
On GH, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
it's both
hell of a year.
Bipolar and drinking, but my feeling is, and I speak about it a lot, one's hard enough. You put that into the equation.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I would not be here for sure.
I do not suffer from bipolar.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether I would be here if I hadn't stopped drinking 23 and a half years ago. I don't believe I would. I'd still be here. Because it was just the spiral was getting, you have one drink and then you start closing that spiral and it starts going down, maybe 2 drinks and then blah, blah, blah. And my spiral was getting I was drinking and driving.
Oh
I didn't wake up in a strange bed and I didn't wake up in jail. By the grace of God. Not by me,
wow.
By the grace of God. But everything truly important that I have accomplished in my life has been in the last 23 and a half years. Truly. Because
what did you do before when you were?
Well, I went to acting school and I chose awful relationships, serial monogamy, just bad, many bad choices that some of which in the first few years of sobriety, because I thought, I could just stop drinking. I just won't drink alcohol anymore. No, you have to live sober, which is because at that point I was just what's called a dry drug.
Right.
You're dry, but you're still living that non-sober alcoholic lifestyle. You make the wrong choices. You just have taken booze out of the equation, but you haven't gotten your mind right. Right? Until you start actually, for me, it was, making amends to people. What have I done to you? How can I apologize? How can I make it better? What don't I ever need to do again? What does it mean to, your character starts becoming sterling when you live a sober life, not just, now I can go out and do the same things that I was doing. I just am not going to drive drunk. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just not going to drink. Unless you change your habits, your lifestyle, your brain waves, then your character stays on base. It's base. It's right? When you start living sober, then you start, because that's why I think the big book of AA and the 12 and 12 steps, 12 traditions should be in every elementary school. Because it's not about setting aside alcohol. It's about the conditions that are in someone's head in your life. Because you were all slings and arrows. It's life is tough. Life is fucking tough.
Yes.
It's about overcoming that which is difficult.
Yeah.
It's not about necessarily just not, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna tip my hand. I'm not gonna drink. It's about learning to live life in a sober way. These are life lessons, not just don't drink lessons. They're life lessons. And when you can get a grip, and when you can understand that and get a grip on that, then your life explodes in color and wonder, and you find yourself making correct choices. But as I say, the first couple of years, I was living non-sober because I thought, when you bottom out, the bottoming out is when you realize that you've got the problem. You can't fix it yourself. You got to turn to something or someone, a higher power, and you can't. That's your bottom. That's the last day you drink. My bottoming out was comparatively, you never want to compare, but comparatively high. And so I walked in, I remember walking into my first meeting and thinking, well, and I listened to the stories and I thought, well, I'm an alcoholic, but you all are drunks. Arrogance.
Yeah.
Arrogance, snobbery. I'm superior to you all. I'm just superior. And the moment, and so I made bad choices. That first year of alcoholism, of sobriety, bad choices. And then I had found a great sponsor. And this sponsor said, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? But that's wrong. You don't, why? And I was like, whoa. And I couldn't give a good enough answer. And so I had to look. I had to look at what I was doing. Look at me. And then there's an amazing book called Living Sober. And that's maybe the book that saved my life. And some other really people who had some long-term sobriety. They just said, what are you doing? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And I said, well, first of all, I want to stay alive and I want to have the career that I want to have. And they said, well, then stop making these choices, which have nothing to do with alcohol. The drinking was to mask. The drinking was to, and for me, it was to prolong elation because life is tough. The moments that I found myself very happy, good God, I wanted those to last. Because, trying to make it in this business.
Yeah.
You have to have a spine of steel.
I agree.
You have to learn to love the word no, because that's all you hear.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're a fluke, and I wasn't a fluke. So, they just said, who do you want to be? And it's like, well, this is, I want to live to see my career. I want to live to see my career. So I learned to live sober and ingrain that. And when you start to live a sober lifestyle, your mindset changes and your worldview expands and you start to make the right choices for the right reasons. The right reasons. That's not to say that you're not going to make mistakes. Of course, we make mistakes in sobriety. But we own up to them. We clean up. We try to keep our side of the street clean. If I hurt somebody, it's like, not just, I'm sorry, but how can I make it right? What can I do to show you that I'm going to make it right? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to do it again. So living sober it's a mindset and a philosophy.
Yeah.
It's, so.
Now, is it in the program that if you hurt people or anything, to now that you're sober, to go back and say, I'm sorry?
Is that it? It's called 10th stepping.
I don't know.
It's a 10th step.
Because I'm kind of doing that with something else right now. I won't get into it.
It's a 10th step. That's the 10th step. The 9th step is when you've made your list and how you hurt them.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's the 4th step. That's who did we hurt and who do we need to make amends to. The 9th step is going down that list, making the phone calls, saying, can I meet you for coffee?
Wow.
And saying, I need to make an amends to you for what I did. Now except in the cases where it would hurt the other person.
Yeah.
It's like you don't necessarily need to go to the wife of the person you slept with and say, I need to make an amends to you because I slept with your husband. What? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, we don't need to do that.
No, but you're helping them and then you're helping yourself.
You're absolutely helping yourself because you are unburdening yourself, but you're doing it to them and saying, I know what I did. I am sorry.
Yeah.
It will not happen again. How can I make it right? Or even just, I know what I did and I apologize for hurting you. 10th stepping is in sobriety, because again, we make mistakes, we hurt people. Realizing that as fast as you possibly can, turning around and going, Maurice, remember 3 weeks ago when I said that to you? I apologize because I saw the look on your face and I knew that hurt you in a way, and I have been thinking about it. I need to make an amends to you. Or even something like, last night when I did that, I apologize.
Now, do you continue to do that,
If
Carolyn?
Yeah.
Like now?
Yeah, of course.
You always do it then?
Always do it. But living sober, you tend not to make the amount of mistakes that you made before.
Right.
Because your mind is right. It's like, and you always have to weigh saying anything, doing anything. Where's the profit? Where's the profit in what I'm about to say to you? Is it to hurt you? Well, then now then I'm not living a sober life. I'm not living. My mind is not right. If it's like, why did you say that to that person? Well, no. Are you going to hurt or are you going to elevate? That's why I always say there's two kinds of people in the world: those who elevate others, those who elevate themselves by elevating others. Those who elevate themselves by destroying others.
Yeah.
That, misery loves company. I feel bad, so I'm going to make you feel bad. I'm going to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm envious of you, so I'm going to tear you down.
know.
I'm jealous of you. I'm going to tear you down.
Oh my God.
If those people, whether they have ever taken a drink or not, are not living what I would call a sober life. They're not living a life of sterling character. Sterling character.
Yeah.
Who are you? I taught a workshop for some up and coming actors and actresses, and it was called "When No One Else Is Looking." Who are you when no one else is looking? Are you the guy that steals 10 papers out when you pay for one paper and you take 10, or are you the guy that takes one paper? What are the deeds that you do when no one else is looking? So no one's there to pat you on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Who are you? Who are you? But yeah.
Like when you go to the bathroom and you don't wash your hands or something.
Well, everybody. I mean, I do that all the
I
time.
know.
What do you mean you know? You don't know. Please. I mean,
Okay.
that's just speed.
So
You want to just get out there.
So early on when you stopped, how hard was it to go to a party and everybody's drinking?
It's not hard at all.
No?
No, I am blessed. As I always say, as many alcoholics as there are at any given time on this planet, that's how many different types of alcoholism, as many different pathways of trying to live sober, right? So mine just happens to be, I put the drink down, I never picked it up again. There have been a couple of times where I've reached and picked up a drink and I thought it was nice. They're like, oh, that's right. But no, you don't change your sobriety date because you picked up a drink by mistake. You try and spit it out if you possibly can.
Yeah. What happens if you drink?
My perception of my alcoholism is that it's intention. I meant to grab my club soda. I did not mean to grab your gin and tonic. I am now drinking your gin and tonic. I did not mean to do that. I don't need to change my sobriety date because I meant I didn't mean, I'm not going out because I didn't mean to drink. I didn't mean to drink.
Yeah. So it's not like you drink it and all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm back to
I'm back to day one.
I get you.
No.
Wow.
No. But that's me. Because sobriety is all intention. It's what do you intend to do? Do you intend to drink? Then you gotta start. Gotta take a chip. You gotta take a first aid.
An accident's not intending.
An accident is not intention. Is not intention. So no, I didn't, because what I do is I get a thing of tonic and a little bit of Angostura bitters, a little squeeze of lime. Looks like an adult drink. I'm drinking an adult drink. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, because the problem is, even when I didn't want to drink, this was a while back when I used to drink a little bit more. I said, I'm not going to drink, but I don't want to be at a party, so I want to act like I'm drinking, so nobody says, "How come you're not drinking?"
Get some club soda with a squeeze of lime. Nobody knows.
And then I would just
exactly. Very often, it's the idea of holding something.
Right.
It's a comfort thing. I'm holding a drink. Well, make it club soda. Well, make it tonic water.
Yeah.
Well, make it whatever it is.
Yeah.
And there are some very interesting non-alcoholic or de-alcoholized wines and non-alcoholic beers. And listen, the percentage of alcohol is absolutely minuscule. I do know alcoholics that would say, well, I won't even touch that. It's like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's your path.
Yeah.
That's your path.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm okay with a non-alcoholic beer. I'm okay with a de-alcoholized wine because I know how I'm living.
Yeah.
It's not. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But do I have great confidence in how my character is building on itself every day? It's like, do I love to come to work? Work. Do I love to come to General Hospital every day? I walk in that soundstage singing. It's like, I'm so happy I'm here. I'm so happy I'm here. And, I wake up, I'm so happy I'm here. I'm so happy. Put one foot on the floor. Let's go feed the dogs. It's a little dicey right now because Arbuckle, my little dog he's, but it's, it is.
And we, speaking of
GH, yeah.
We've done some pretty good stuff lately, like deeper stuff that I love. I mean, I know we're always
you and I.
Yeah. I love this shit.
I want you to go up to the 5th floor and I want you to talk to the powers that be, because you are one of the powers that is. And I want you to say, power that be, Frank, I want more scenes with Carolyn because.
But they love you.
I want more scenes with Carolyn. That's what you need to say. Here's the thing. I love Nancy.
She can act.
She can act.
Yeah, she can.
I love Nancy. I love Tristan.
Yeah.
I love her. But you and I have talked about it.
Well, there's something.
You and I have talked about the fact that when, like, for instance, one of the most recent was you on the stand.
Oh yeah, it was good.
And that happened this past year. It happened in between my first interview with you and this interview with you. And Diane grilling Sonny, her boss. What is she gonna do? It was and looking at you, it was one of the great moments for me in my 17 years on this show. So I want more.
Yeah.
I really want more of that.
Well,
so figure it out.
Well, you have to understand something about me. This is the truth. Early on, when we first knew each other, I thought I was the producer, director, writer, everything, and it kind of drove me crazy, literally. So I hate to say this I don't really care to be that, like to even say what's, like Frank even knows, I don't ask about the story because I don't want to,
But think about it this way. Now the pressure is off you. The pressure is off you to be producer, director, writer.
Yeah.
Now you can be Maurice Benard, actor, Sonny Corinthos, and that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah.
That's those
nice.
It's nice. It takes a lot of the pressure off. And you can go, I don't know how you can go deeper, but you can go even deeper. So now figure it out with you and I.
All right.
Because you've got the power I don't. So I'm gonna.
Okay. How was Cougar Town?
Oh.
How was Courtney Cox? You're not going to tell me if it wasn't good anyway, but
we'll talk about Cougar Town. We'll talk about Cougar Town. It was one of the best things
really?
One of the best things I've ever done because of the writing. They wrote for Barb, my character.
Okay.
They wrote comedy gold. They wrote little comedy atom bombs and they would give them to me and I'd run into a scene and I'd drop the atom bomb because Barb was always saying the most heinous things, the most inappropriate. Have you ever,
I think I saw you on Cougar Town.
Okay. Somebody put together all of the Barb clips.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was on YouTube. And I found it and I wrote to that person and I said, can I use this as my comedy reel?
Yeah.
Because Barb, everything that came
it's
out of Barb.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah. Everything that came out of Barb's mouth, if I can find it again, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Everything that came out of Barb's mouth was like a nuclear wasteland after she left. Because Courtney Cox would be like stunned or everybody else would be stunned. It was so much fun.
Damn.
They just wrote brilliance for Barb. And so again, you know, you get paid money for saying things that in polite society, in real life, you would be institutionalized or in jail for. You know what I mean? So you get to say it. You get to kind of dig deep and funny, and it was fantastic.
And Dawson Creek?
Oh my God. Well, that's where I got sober.
Oh, it is?
That's where I got sober.
You were sober on the job, or you were drinking?
Well, let's just here's the short version of the last day of drinking. I flew to Wilmington, North Carolina, on a Friday, and I went for wardrobe fitting, and and this was a heavy duty recurring role, the role of Mrs. Valentine.
Damn.
The yacht club manager. And in the wardrobe fitting, the first AD kind of happened to come by. He goes, we're going to have a picnic. We're having a picnic on Sunday. And I went, wow, great, fantastic. Well, the picnic on the island turned out to be a booze fest on a sandbar in the Intercoastal Waterway with all of these boats, no shade, no food. Because I'm thinking, oh, it's a picnic with, picnic tables and red checkered tablecloths and, baskets of Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever. No. And I drank way too much. And I got onto a strange man's cigarette boat, which is a very long speedboat. And was racing up and down the Intercoastal Waterway, just like, screaming my head off, having a great time. Well, I could have been killed.
Damn.
Or dumped or raped. Nothing happened. But I woke up. The last thing I remember was racing up the Intercoastal Waterway on this cigarette boat with this tiny little man at my side. And then I woke up in my hotel room bed. No idea what happened.
What?
And I got a phone call that said, we've pushed your call time. We've pushed your call time an hour. Because the director, and it was his first episode of Dawson's Creek, the director, Sandy Smolin, God love him, said he was also at that picnic. And he was not in great shape. I was in awful shape, but he was not in great shape. So he pushed my call time because he saw what shape I was in.
What?
Now, it could have gotten back to Los Angeles, to production here.
Yeah.
Hey, Hennessy can't, Hennessy, she can't even show up for the first day of work. That could have been it. That could have been it. As it was, I soldiered through and used every technique I knew to get through the day. But my driver, Big John, my driver. And he was my driver for the entire run of Dawson's Creek for me on the show. And I got into the car. I got into the van. I was the only one in the van, and Big John's driving me. He'd driven me from the airport to the wardrobe fitting, so I was a mess. I was just like this. And he said, "So I hear you had a good time at the picnic yesterday." And I went, And he said, "I hear you got onto a speedboat with a guy." And I went, And he said, "It's a guy that you didn't know." And I went, And he looked at me and he went, "Did you fuck him?" And I went, and I couldn't answer.
Oh.
I couldn't answer.
That's.
And I panicked, and that was the moment. That moment was my bottom. That moment was my bottom. Because I had worked so hard building this career. This was like, and this was 2020. I mean, 2000, the year 2000. And I raced to the first AD and I said, "Can I have the name of the guy whose speedboat I was on?" He said, "Yeah, I know it. He's a good guy, this guy." And he gave me the name. And I said, I need the phone number. And I called that guy and I said, "Can I see you for lunch, please?" And we had lunch and I said, "What?" He goes, "Darling, you were a perfect lady."
Wow.
And I said, "Yeah, that's great. Were you a perfect gentleman?" And he said, "Darling, why would I want 5 minutes with you when I want to marry you? And then I went, okay, now
What a sweet
now
guy.
it's true. But it's like, okay, thank you so much for lunch. Nothing happened, but it could have.
Yeah. Okay.
And I said, never, ever again.
That was it?
That was it. I said, that will never happen again.
Wow.
That will never happen again. And I called a friend of mine back in Los Angeles and I said, I need you to be my Eskimo. I think we may have talked about Eskimo. Eskimo is the person who leads you into the igloo, the meeting, from the cold, from the blizzard. That's so I called my Eskimo and I said, you gotta take me. You gotta take me to a meeting.
Wow. Well, that's very cool that we talked about all that, and then this is how you started.
Yeah.
At the end of
That's how that. And I said, that will never. And so, so Dawson's Creek ended up being a fabulous run for me. It was wonderful because I was in Wilmington, going to meetings in Wilmington where they do it a little differently. And I've been to meetings in Ireland. I've been to meetings in England. I've been to meetings kind of, in various places. And they all say like the Lord's Prayer a little differently. They all say the Serenity Prayer a little differently. It's, again, as many alcoholics as there are, as many meetings as there are, that's how many. It's whatever is working for you.
Yeah.
Whatever is working for you. So yeah, I would attend meetings and I took pottery classes but Wilmington, North Carolina, it's so beautiful. Not drinking.
Can I ask you one question before we?
No. We're not done, are we?
Yeah.
What?
It's been 40 minutes.
It has not. Don't lie to me.
Anthony, how long has it been? 37.
See?
Okay. What is Carolyn Hennesy?
What? What? What's that? Wait
a minute.
What's happening right now?
I got it. What is your definition of success?
My life. My life is my definition of success.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning and I get to say, I do what I love for a living. I also write for a living, which I do, which I love to do. I also sing.
The Secret Life of Damien Spinelli.
The Secret Life of Damien Spinelli. Have you read it? Have you even read your story yet? Never mind.
I haven't read my story.
Yeah, no, you haven't. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
And John was supposed to give me his book. He didn't leave it.
I should have brought The Secret Life.
He didn't leave it.
I thought I'd given you one. Anyway, I am living a successful life. Now, could I reach even greater heights? Of course. No. But I might someday. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I am living a successful life.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't get down.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't get angry.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm a happy person because I think that's also our duty. Our duty is to be happy for humanity.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. Because being unhappiness brings everybody down. Who needs that? Be happy. My job on a set, my job in life is to make everybody else's job easier. That's my job.
Okay.
Because you know what? You've hired me for this acting thing. I got that. I'm cool. Now I need to know how to make the set run even more smoothly than it does.
Yeah.
How to make people's lives. Doesn't mean you take shit.
No.
But what can I do? How can I help? How can I be of service? I lay my head down on the pillow and I wake up the next day and I go, how? Doesn't mean it hasn't been a lot. It's been a lot of hard work, but how fortunate am I to do what I do, to put food on the table, to make because I always say comedy extends people's lives. Watching, that's why if I'm ever in the doldrums, it's like, let's put on The Great Race.
Yeah.
Let's put on, Some Like It Hot. Let's watch what is truly funny.
Yeah.
So when people say Diane Miller makes me laugh, Barb in Cougar Town makes me laugh, Mrs. Chesterfield on Jessie makes me laugh. It's like I've extended life. I've extended someone's life.
It's funny because how you feel about the laughing, the laughter, is how I feel about the depth that I give from mental illness, and it's almost like the same, but
It's
opposite.
Honey, it's the Lord's work. It's the Lord's work. You're doing God's work.
Yeah.
However you choose to believe in
Right.
God, you're doing the universe's work.
Exactly.
It's flowing through you. And that's a little woo-woo, it's a little esoteric, but it's like it's
and laughter is that
that
too.
is absolutely. But people who tune into this,
Yeah.
and if like you can go to a meeting in AA and not hear anything, and then always in there's one thing you hear
Yeah.
in a meeting that you kind of go, that's why I was here today. To hear that from
That's
you,
right.
that's why I was here today. People watch these shows and it's like they may gloss over everything I've said, but maybe one thing.
That's right.
One thing. And it keeps them going.
Or
It's
maybe
like,
just the laughter.
exactly. Well, look, your face is hilarious. Yeah, see, like that. That's what it is.
Maybe
That's what it
maybe
is.
just all right. Listen.
What? No.
Yeah, we gotta
You
go.
just want to watch the football
I just
game.
gotta see the 49ers.
You just want to watch the
But
fucking football game. Oh, let's have Carolyn last. But you know what? We're gonna cut it short because I've got to watch football. I put on mascara for you.
all right. I'm gonna say one last thing about Karen. This has been I think this has been an incredible conversation with Carolyn, especially if you want to stop drinking, if you think you know you're having a problem drinking, because she laid it out as well as I've heard it, I mean, in a while, because it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, she's just first of all, she's a great storyteller. Okay. But aside from that, it was very, very important to hear someone who has stopped drinking for that long, for me to hear that, because that's knowledge.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I interject? Which is not to say that the people who fall and have to go back and go out and come back in, there is nothing, there is no judgment there.
No.
Because at least they keep trying. And that's the road to success.
Yeah.
So
that's very true too.
I'm just saying for me, you know how fortunate I am not to have had that, not to white knuckle it, not to, believe me.
Well,
Believe me, I know how
we've
fortunate.
seen it.
Yeah.
Too many times.
I know.
And it doesn't really end well, unfortunately.
No. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. That's what they
Man, you can keep coming back here.
Really?
Yeah, we'll do it for an hour next time.
God, Mo.
State of mind. See you later.
God.